Hi there, my name's Shannon Kristen. I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes care and education specialist. And today I'm going to share a recipe of whole wheat pancakes. Not only are these hearty, but they're also high fiber and fat-free. We're going to start off with our dry ingredients today. So we have 4 cups of whole wheat pastry flour. We're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and that will be our first set of dry ingredients here. And what we're going to do is carefully put these all together. So with our cinnamon, we're going to put 2 teaspoons of it. If you prefer a different kind of spice, nutmeg, anise, you're welcome to substitute that. And then we're going to add our last dry ingredient, which is the 4 teaspoons of the baking powder. We're going to whisk these together. Now our wet ingredients include egg whites. You can buy egg whites in cartons. You can hand separate your eggs, whatever is easiest for you. Okay, so for the wet ingredients, we're going to combine the milk, water, vanilla, and egg whites in together. So the egg whites for this is 2 egg whites equivalent. And then we're going to add our water. And our water is a 1 cup portion. We're going to add 2 cups of fat-free or skim milk. And then last but not least, we're going to include a alcohol-free version of vanilla. Now we're choosing alcohol-free vanilla because it's FCS friendly. We're going to whisk this up together. Until they're well combined. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a well in our dry ingredients. So a well is basically where you create kind of this wall of your dry ingredients here. Pretty similar if you were going to make pasta, homemade pasta, same kind of concept. And the urge I always have with making any kind of baked product is I want to get the lumps out. That is not the recipe you want to do that with, is this one. So the lumps are fine. So you see I pour this in the middle there. And then you're just going to mix these by folding them in until they're all well combined. Okay, this looks like it's all pretty well combined there. Just make sure I'm scraping the sides, getting the bottom. Today we're going to highlight our fruit compote. It's really simple, really easy. It's very versatile, and so we're going to jump right in. And you know, you don't have to wait for berries to be in season. You can use some amazing frozen. So we have some mixed berries for ours, and so we did 2 cups of that, and we'll stick it in our pan here. And then along with that, you can either choose to use a sugar syrup or a sugar substitute. Today we're going to use some agave syrup for this portion of sweetness. We're also going to include some cornstarch and water together, and this is to help thicken up this. So we'll get that kind of put together. So we're going to do about a tablespoon of the cornstarch and water. Cornstarch tends to get lumpy easily, so we're just going to make sure that that kind of blends in nicely. Then we're going to take our syrup. Done about a tablespoon. You could easily do more or less, depending on what you prefer. You know, it's just up to you, kind of the sweetness of the berries. If your berries already have some kind of sweetening agent on it, then you probably don't necessarily need to add more sweetness to it. But what we're going to do is just kind of, have this fruit get warmed up, and then the juices should come out as we continue to cook this up. Okay, so now we've got our griddle set up. We're going to use a little bit of nonstick spray. Now you can, use whatever level you feel is most comfortable, but I tend to, spray and wipe off is kind of my approach, because I feel like, you can't always control the mist of all these things. So we can just do a little spray here, and then I can just wipe this down very lightly, soak up any too much. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup portion. You could make bigger pancakes if you want, but I kind of feel like the 1/2 cup portions are nice, manageable portion. And then what we're trying to do with this is kind of let it kind of settle, cook on the bottom, and then these steamy bubbles should show up on top. I always find my first pancake is the tester pancake, so I never can tell how much time everything's going to need until I go through that one first. Now, if you don't have a griddle, you definitely could use a stovetop pan. And I have this griddle on 400, but you could, do yours on medium high, depending on whether it's a flat top or if you have a gas. Wow, this compote is going to be delicious on top of those pancakes. So this is giving me the vibes that it's time to flip. Look how gorgeous this is. Lightly brown. And now we're just going to let the other side get that way, and then hopefully all those steam bubbles will cook the center. I'll always remember pancakes as part of like my childhood of like Sunday brunch with my parents and my siblings, and still to this day, that's something we do at our house as well. I'm sure you do too. What's nice about these is that you can pre-make them, and then you can freeze them and pull them out as you need for breakfast, for your kids, or even to go in their school lunches. Okay, let's plate these up. Look at that. All ready to go. and I didn't even burn it. Isn't that awesome? Okay, we've got this gorgeous fruit compote. You see how when we added the cornstarch and the water, it kind of jammed up, and it's this beautiful deep blue color. We have the chunks of strawberries in here, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just drizzle some of these beautiful berries on top. And then my kids are big fans of a little bit of powdered sugar. And you have an easy, fat-free, high-fiber breakfast.